So let's talk about one of the teams you discussed there, a team that has definitely checked the style points bucket. That is Tennessee. Big test this weekend as they are on the road taking on Oklahoma right now at FanDuel Sportsbook. Tennessee favored by 7.5, despite the fact this game is in Norman. Total in this game is 56.5. And they've romped so far. Tennessee has, but now on the road facing a very tough Oklahoma team. Spread is lengthened by a point. It was 6.5 yesterday, now 7.5. So, Kent, what's your read on this game?
Well, I just spoke so highly about Tennessee, and I'm gonna stay with that point. Like, until a team keeps them within single digits, I'm riding Tennessee to win by double digits every week. They've covered every spread. They're averaging on their own, they're averaging 64 points per game. Oklahoma also kind of looks sketchy against Houston. Even against Tulane, it was a 5-point game in the fourth quarter. They needed a late touchdown to even cover their own spread. Um, you know, I am a little curious to see how Tennessee is on the road. Last year, they only had 4 road games. They were 1-3 in those road games and averaged under 20 points per game. Like, with the way their offense moves, a lot of up tempo, calling plays at the line of scrimmage, the opposing fan bases can kind of rattle and kind of affect their flow a little bit. So, I'm curious to see how they do in Norman. I know that those fans are gonna be raucous with the Josh Heupel stories, or the whole storyline with Heupel. But, like, the fans are only gonna be a factor as long as the game is close, and I think in the second half, Tennessee starts pulling away, and those fans are gonna be exiting the stadium or quieting down at the minimum. So, I think Tennessee still gets out, to a pretty good lead here, and I think Tennessee really runs away with this one, and so I'm looking at, like, a 35-17 type of game. I think the books are a little high on Oklahoma compared to what I've seen, so, um, this is one where I'm not ready to think Tennessee's gonna be held within single digits with anybody yet.
So let's say this is a game where Tennessee does not cover. What does Oklahoma have to do in order to keep this game close enough where they do cover this spread?
Make it a defensive battle and
Mm,
slow it down.
yeah.
Like, if Nico gets going and this offense gets to churning the ball with Dylan Sampson and that whole, like, they've got a stable of running backs back there, like, this could get, um, when Tennessee gets going with momentum, I saw it against my NC State Wolfpack team in person. Um, it's a machine. They're unstoppable. But if Oklahoma can keep the ball, keep Nico on the sidelines, run the ball, and kind of make this more of a defensive battle, I think they've got a shot to keep it competitive. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
So you said you were at that NC State game, correct?
Yes, I was.
I don't want to open old wounds, Ken, but like from an objective perspective, what'd you see from Tennessee in person? Like how'd they look in person, ignoring the disappointment around the result of that game?
Dominant. I thought it
Yeah.
was going to be like they were a typical spread offense team that, like, with Heupel's system, you think, oh, this is all they care about is offense, and this is one of those prototypes of like an old Lincoln Riley team that
Yeah.
just gets in shootouts and wins. Their defensive line, I think every one of them should be in the NFL. NC State, I mean, these guys were getting through within 2 seconds, and it was
Yeah.
absurd. They had a pick six that really was a big changing point in the game, but, like, I didn't realize their defense had it like this. They've obviously been shutting out the smaller schools so far, but, man, they are a wagon.
They are a wagon indeed. Okay, so Kent is on Tennessee minus 7.5 in this game. That is minus 102 over at FanDuel Sportsbook.